Let's implement one of the real-time use cases for the extensibility. So I'm going with this scenario, enhancing the MDG BP solution with the custom reuse entity type. So that is nothing but the branch code. First, we need to understand the requirement. So let's understand first what is a branch code and why it is required for the BP and what is the business requirement. We'll take some couple of scenarios. So as you know, like in BP, we are governing customer and supplier. So this branch code is applicable for both the customer and suppliers. Now, there will be couple of business scenarios. So sometimes business may want this branch code to be applicable or to be enhanced only for customer or only for supplier or for both. Maybe different branch codes you may maintain. Or sometimes business may want, okay, we don't maintain separate branch code at customer or vendor level, we maintain at the BP level. So the same branch code need to be updated for the customer and vendor because they create a business partner with the customer and vendor enhancement belonging if they belong to the same branch. Okay, so that kind of scenario also exists. Now let's take one business case. Okay, I'll update the details here later. Let's say there is a company, okay, some ABC electronics or some traders, whoever so. So they must be having different branches across the country, right? Or they may be having different branches in different countries. Let's say they have the branches in Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, wherever so. Now, how do you identify which branch is the based on the branch code? To make it simple, like let's say you have a bank account with HDFC. For the branch, Jubilee Hills. Now, how do you identify the Jubilee Hills branch? Based on the IFSC code. Every bank branch has the IFSC code. That is their branch code. In few countries, the branch codes are different. They don't have IFSC codes. IFSC codes are in India. And in other countries, maybe they have directly the branch code, some 001, 012, 053, something like that. Or in some other format based on their country. Every company, mostly, if there are operations running in multiple branches, in order to uniquely identify their branch, they must be having one branch code assigned to that. Okay, let's say customer point of view. Say you are owning a company and you may sell the goods to some Reliance retail. They have the Reliance Trends, footwear, all these things, right? So for one of these, you might be selling the goods to them. Now, when you are selling the goods to some Reliance branch, you don't dispatch your goods to the main branch, right? Say you are in Bangalore. There is a Reliance Mart in Martali. You need to send some goods to the Martali branch only. You don't send that to some other branches in Bangalore or Whitefield or whoever, whatever so. Or you don't sell the goods to Hyderabad. So whichever branch places the order, so to that branch you will be sending the goods, meaning you will be selling the goods. In that case, you would require to update the branch code details in your sales order. Okay, so that is from the customer point of view. Why it is required? Because there are a couple of use cases. So that may be required for the reporting purpose, and you want to identify what is your delivery location based on the branch code, or some tax invoicing purpose, or if you want to track the some payments. Let's talk from the vendor perspective. So maybe you are owning a manufacturing company and you would like to purchase something from maybe some Tata Steel or whatever so. Then Tata Steel is the vendor and you are the customer to the Tata Steel. Now, from your side, you have the purchase order and from their side, they have the sales orders. Now, in the purchase order, you need to mention like from which branch you are purchasing the goods or the required raw materials or whatever so. Maybe Tata Steel has branches in, I think, Jamshedpur and Vizag. Every branch has its own code. So those branch code details you need to mention in the purchase order. Now, why it is required? Again, for the branch tracking purpose and the logistics coordination purpose, or any taxing or any payment relevant activity operations to be performed. You need all those things. Okay. And also every branch is having their own tax registration numbers also. So in a year you might be purchasing or you might be selling the goods, raw materials from or to different branches. At the end of the financial year or at the end of the quarter, you need to generate the report about all your sales or transactions, whatever. So you need to know from which branch you are purchasing the goods much, or if you want to know which branch is having more sales, or from which branch you are getting more revenue. Is it from the Reliance Trends Maratali branch, or Bomanahalli branch, or Whitefield, or Madhapur in Hyderabad, or Jubilee Hills, or Banjara Hills? So you might require to generate that kind of reports. Is this a standard or a custom solution? So we need to understand from that perspective. So now let's talk about that. If you go to the backend, let's say SC11. So this is for Thailand branch code relevant tables. You can find other tables. Now if you say, for example, so here you see for this Thailand branch codes for customers, this is the table. And here customer number and the branch code. And what is the address number? That gives all the address details of this branch. Similarly, if you find for vendor, okay, you see, this is for vendor branch code. So, is it a default branch code or it is not default? When you say default, like always when you are choosing this supplier, this branch code will be defaulted in the delivery or wherever, so taxing or wherever. So these are the standard tables. These are not custom tables. Standard tables are already there, but when you go to the MDG, if you go to the BP, now if you search based on the branch, you don't find anything. So for some reason, like SAP did not extend this branch code details in the standard MDG solution. So this is a custom one. So tables are already there. Only the thing is you need to enhance MDG solution with this branch code. So that is the custom requirement that we implemented recently for one of the Thailand customers. So we need to enhance the MDG solution with the branch code. Enhance BP solution with custom fields. One is branch code, another one description of the branch code, and default branch code flag. And for branch code, this is the data type. Or I will put it in a table format. Technical name, data type, data element, data type, length, description. So we are going to maintain the branch code at the BP level, and the same branch code need to be updated for the customer and vendor. So these are the three fields that we want in the MDG solution, and accordingly, as soon as the CR is activated, I want this data to be updated into the backend active area tables, customer and vendor tables accordingly. I just want to add a few more important details about this branch code. These tables are for Thailand branch code only. So globally, SAP don't maintain the branch codes. So these are the localization tables, we call it as, meaning like different countries have different taxation rules and their own format of the data, right? So this branch code is not mandatory for all the countries, like especially in the Thailand for taxation and invoice, VAT and all, the branch code is mandatory here data. So that's why they have given the specific tables for Thailand branch code. Same in India, the branch code is not maintained explicitly for the companies, but that is maintained in the form of the GST registration. So likewise, different countries maintain the branch code in different ways. Few maintain as the plant. Okay, plant code itself, they consider it as the branch code, and a few maintain like at a company code level, or some sales area, or some business place. Okay, different ways are considered for different countries. So now you may get a question like, how do we know all those things? So you don't need to worry about like when you are implementing a project. So you can ask the client, like customer can confirm you like how they want to handle this branch code in their way, their country specific. Okay, here for Thailand, the customer explained like here the branch code is mandatory like that. So likewise, if you are implementing a project for the customer of India, they can explain like how they maintain the branch code. Is it in the form of the GST registration number or something else? Or if you are implementing for Japan, they can confirm you how they want to implement something like that. So that details you can get that. So now we are implementing the branch code for Thailand. It is mandatory here. So most of the customers, not most, mostly every customer in the Thailand, they maintain the branch code mandatorily for taxation purpose. I'll just maintain the table details here. Okay. Table name, description. Okay. I'll remove another columns. This is the table and the next table. And for vendor. And sometimes if there are any localization tables like this, SAP may not have any standard BAPIs or something to update the data also. So in that case, we might require to go with the direct to database statements only. But that's not a wrong approach in case there is no standard BAPI, because these are not global requirements, right? That's why. These are for Thailand element. Now, you see, business place. Okay. So I told you, right? For, some countries maintain that branch code in the form of the business place. The description is business place. You see the field name is branch. Company code wise, they are maintaining the branch details here. That depends. Country to country, this process differs. So you don't need to worry about, okay. It doesn't require like we need to update for all the countries in every requirement. It depends on the client. Now, for example, there is one for India. Yeah. So this table is for India. So here they maintain the branch code in the form of the business place. Okay, and they have the GST numbers, all those things they maintain here, GST registration number. So client can confirm like how they want to maintain the data under. So likewise, different countries they maintain differently. So now our focus is on the Thailand branch code enhancement. We need to enhance the BP solution with these three. Now, since this data has to be stored into the different standard tables, so it is advisable to create it as a different entity type, because the standard entity types store the data by default into the standard tables like BUT tables, all those things. But here this is the localized tables. But in case if you have a requirement, one of you are asking a question, right? Can we add these as attributes directly to the existing entity? Yes, you can add them as a attribute directly to the existing entity in case if you want the data to be stored into the same table, most of the cases. If the data has to be distributed into the different tables, it is advisable to create it as a separate entity type. So this is the overall requirement that we are going to implement for enhancing the standard MDG BP solution in today's session.